Hello everyone, my name is Flare Bliss and welcome back to Vampire's Melody. Let's see what's up with our two heroes today. Also, I've had a haircut recently. How I wish I could take a bath and sleep. I'm sorry. Yeah, we've got no more blood for Yella, and the money that we did have is now gone because we dropped the box with the money in. How this day is going so well. Yeah, from the cashier, did you not remember? I quickly take out the cash. Yella is also looking at the stuff in my hands. Our questions totally turn from gloominess to joy. Quick, take out all that money. Yes, let's just take out this money in broad daylight. Yeah, nobody's going to try and rob us. We're not so incompetent. Take that back. This is great thanks to my foresight. No, why are you still calling me an incompetent thrall? I'll call you a lifeless thrall next time. I'll prefer to be called incompetent then. We could just stay at the, you know, a hotel, not a luxurious hotel that would drain all that money at once. Our identification also needs a place where we live at, and we don't have anywhere that we live at. We could provide the address that we lived at 300 years ago. Holy gosh, prices get even higher and higher every time we call them. Fine, we'd like to arrange for two people. 1,200, right? I glance at Yella while I state the price and she nods smugly as if money is no problem since we have plenty of it. Alright, give me your telephone number. Someone will contact you with further instructions a bit later. Telephone number? We don't have a phone. Public phone? I look at the sign on the phone. Yes, public phone. Then wait there. Someone will call back shortly. Okay. This time is another man's voice, and he introduced himself as Franklin. Turtle Dove asked me to call you. What would you like me to do? So that person just now is called Turtle Dove, and this one is called Franklin. What are these names? We also have Tiger Barber and whatnot. Do people nowadays have such special names, nicknames, different personas? Not to reveal our true identity. First it's TVs, now it's photos. What are photos? The person on the other side is silent this time. Where did Turtle Dove find this country bumpkin? He would accept this kind of business? This man mutters for a while before explaining to me. That tobacco specialty shop has a photo studio close by. Just enter that place and tell them you'd like to have photos for driving licenses. Yes. He hangs up immediately after giving his directions. How'd it go? Have you obtained them? No, we need something called photos. Yella asked me while rubbing her bleary eyes at the same time. This is rather troublesome, for I probably won't arrive until the day after tomorrow, which have to do with what we can for these 2 nights. Such a slow process. I've had enough of this. Well, this shop has a lot of stuff. I didn't know there are so many different kinds of smokes nowadays. Yep, e-cigarettes and all that. You still smoke? How could I ever afford those? We only had mint leaves to chew. Okay. I heard the old continent doesn't have tobacco in the past, so people would bring them over after discovering it in the new continent. Is that so? But tobacco isn't a good thing. I have seen people who smoke too much of those and they went mad. No, Yella, your standards are too low. You can always hang your lovely outfit elsewhere. Feels like this is one of those side quests where you have to have the side quest itself, but then you're given another side quest to be able to implement for the original side quest, and then you have to go from that side quest to another side quest in order to get the previous side quest done. It's a chain. When did Raylan have a fashion sense? I look at the dress she's wearing and give her my opinion. You are quite biased. Happy to not so impress. Fine, actually you will look good in anything. Your figure is also very natural when you wear them. Hey, now that looks very suitable. Also love the teal as well. I get why Yella is impatient. She wants to get this done as soon as possible so that the process can happen as soon as possible. If you wait even a second more, it could happen the very next day after the day that you promised. Say one thing about machines is that it's reduced the amount of jobs that there are in the world because most things nowadays are done by machines rather than a person doing them. Don't just press any button on the washing machine, for goodness sakes. I'd helped my dad once trying to get stuff out of the washing machine because none of the buttons would actually open the washing machine door. It was actually a handle on the door itself in which you pull open. But he decided to push every button to muck up the washing machine. Stuff that's tattered has memories that you hold of them. You know, from when you first got it to everything that you've done with it. It's not just something that is tattered and torn up and useless. It's something that you hold memories with. Leave with peace of mind, or keep a lookout for the laundrette owner. Oh, no, impossibilities. Keep a lookout. How about keep a lookout? They'll definitely send someone to retrieve our stuff, whether it's a fraud or not. But we won't know if they'll cheat us even if we see someone take it. Then we'll tail that person. If he can travel very quickly and has a car, in that case, what should we do? Yellow folds her arms with a snort and walks down the street. Forget it. We'll see when the time comes. You wait here. Where are you going? I'm going to watch your back. Don't follow me, and don't stand at other people's stop runs like an idiot. Find a place and stay there. Ah, yes, that old strategy. Are you crazy, Yella? Yella suddenly appears from behind and taps my shoulder. Where did you come from? I get such a fright I fall off the bench, and any urge to sleep is gone. Be quiet. Let's go quickly. Oh, okay. We reach the car in no time. The vehicle is still shaking, which proves it didn't stop completely. We look through the windows and no one is inside. You're sure it's him? Gut feeling. Get in. Yellow grabs a handle, opens the car's rear door, pushes me inside and squeezes in before the door behind her will get spotted very easy like this. The car's more tight than I imagined. I get a feeling whoever is in front will see us irrespective of our hiding spot. Lie down. Don't move. We keep ending up in these scenarios where we're so cramped up against one another. But Yellow seems oblivious by all this. You know very well, Yellow, that we're not like this, you know. It's just our situation that it puts stuff in your head that is not true. We'll have to rely on Yellow to be able to know what they're saying, since her vampire hearing is better than human hearing. At this moment, that group of men leaving the compound turn on their lights and approach us. I steal a look at Yellow, indicating for her to be quiet. Cooperate with me. I lower my head, lean close to Yellow and overlap her face. This way, we will look a lot more natural, like a couple kissing each other. The young punks nowadays are so wild. They dare do this sort of thing down here. Speak for yourself. Weren't you even wilder than them when you were young? Some of the male voices sound a bit familiar, but they just wave their lights at us a bit. Then they head off into the alley while talking amongst themselves. Yeah, good distraction. Yeah, how did that go? First, I heard someone say Diego had two brothers who wanted to come here, and they needed proper identification. Brothers? Were they referring to us? Probably not. Next, another person said those two were dangerous people, and it wasn't... My goodness sakes, my eyes again. It wasn't worth arranging for any proper identification. That first person replied by saying money wasn't a problem and they would need to prepare the documentations in 2 days, otherwise the deal would have been delayed. Dangerous people, is it? He went on to say that both of them would need to work in the morning. So proper identification were a must for them. After that, the person fought for a very long time before saying yes. I would take this job, and then they came out. Oh, looks like that place really specialized in making identification documents. The next day, we returned to the laundrette and reached machine 12 on row 5 with the under repair notice. I peer through the transparent window. Indeed, I can see an envelope, but I can't determine its contents. I copy the laundrette owner's early actions to open the window and obtain the envelope. It feels very light, as though hardly anything is placed inside. This is that thing we had to pay 1,200 in exchange. It's so light. Never mind, let's open it first. Open the envelope. It has 2 small cards inside. Each has our name printed on it, along with a picture of us. They should be correct. These cards certainly state that their driving license is on top, but I'm not sure if we can actually use them. Never mind, let's try them at the hotel and we will know. Good idea. Hell yeah. I couldn't imagine how expensive this looks. Everything looks so pristine. I have no words, folks. She looks like she's in heaven right now. Well, if this is the first time she doesn't look inherently angry, for goodness sakes. Like, she's brilliant us, but she's not dead serious in the eyes. I don't think you can do that considering the distance away from Yella. Got it. The bathroom is filled with the sound of running water. This girl must be enjoying her bath. I'm going to take one of our room keys, and the other one will be in front of that thing called a television. Don't forget to take it with you if you want to go out. I find it tiring to talk to you over the den of running water. Run along if you want to go out. Yes, yes, yes. With pleasure, madam. It's only just now that I suddenly realise about this agreement that they made. Yeah, there's not just some lovely-dovely husband and wife scenario. No, this is a contract and we're binded by this curse. Or blessing if people would like to stay in close proximity to the one in which they consider their loved one. Yeah, now what have we done wrong this time? Don't come near me, you walking rubbish bin. Hurry up and take your bath. Yes, yes, okay, I see why. I didn't argue with her because even I nearly couldn't stand that body odour on myself. Time has to reverse forward. We have stayed at this luxurious hotel, mind you, for 2 days. Yet it was the first time I have slept so comfortably. I haven't had such a good night's sleep in the past few days. Not that earlier period in my life of 3 centuries ago for a little more than 20 years. Ah, I sat up and looked out the window, Yella sitting on the sofa beside that spot and looking outside. A candle is next to her hand, and she seems to be thinking about something. Yes, how can we maintain our current position in this luxurious hotel? Yella, not every man has that kind of mindset, you know, for goodness sakes. I mean, we barely know you. The only reason why we're near you is because of a contract that we inadvertently made with you. That's a good analogy of what Yella's doing. She says those words, but inadvertently she wants you to do that so that then she can then devour you whole. Which is still something you can do. Regardless of what time period you're in, food is a necessity. I don't think that's going to bode well when it comes to customer service though, Yella. I can just imagine the amount of complaints that are going to farm in from customers, you know, due to vampiric reasons. That's the thing with opening your own business. You're always going to lose out on the first few months and so. But you'll notice that it's going to steadily go up and go up to something called a break even, which is when the profits matches the costs. And then from there, the profits will overlap the costs. There's also that as well. There's also your mental state of mind. Yella, for example, being a mental comfort for Raylan. That's a sudden change. She's usually anti against us having any sort of dreams and just having us follow Yella around. Who would be sad by Raylan? You would. Then tell me, what should we do? We can look for honest work and earn our keep just like all the normal people in society. I don't believe a world 300 years later could be more cruel than the earlier time period. As long as one is willing to work hard, we can live openly. I know how to cook some dishes, and this era has a lot more restaurants than before, so chefs will be in high demand. Higher demand. Welcome, would you like to eat here? We've already eaten. I explained to the head waiter at the entrance while pointing to the notice at one side. I see you're hiring someone, yes? Yes, you're here for the job interview. Have you brought your resume along? A resume has your personal particulars and work experience. You can also list any awards you have those. I don't know if there's any libraries in here that goes as far back as 300 years ago when it comes to their documentations and archives. Yeah, educational qualifications like English, maths, science, and nowadays IT. This place is quite bare, but it's very nice. Welcome, can I get you something to eat? When we step inside, a voice suddenly booms out that I nearly jump in fright. We aren't here to eat, he's looking for work. Yella points at me and I quickly compose myself while I remember our purpose in coming here. We saw you are hiring assistant chefs. I wonder if you still need any. Oh, yeah, yes. The owner smiles, gets up from his chair and comes over to us affably. Hello, I'm Wang Wenji. You can call me Boss Wang. Hello there, Boss Wang. Have you worked as an assistant chef before? Yes, I used to be work as one at a small restaurant, and I know how to prepare a few Western dishes too. Okay, it's good that you have prior experience. Let's go to the kitchen at the back and show me your abilities. Aha! Practical application for your experience. Now that's what we need. Not educational and awards and stuff like that. Practical experience. Okay, this is something which you can apply regardless of your time period. I like this guy already. That plaything is jack squat. No matter how well people write on those, they can't even peel potatoes. So it's just too much of a hassle. Come, follow me. Yella, find yourself a seat and wait for me. Understood. I'll sit here. You used to make Western dishes, but it's your first time seeing utensil used in Eastern cooking. Yes. I begin to have doubts about myself when I see the things around me. What dishes can you prepare then? Ah, well. I count the dishes I can make with my fingers. Cauliflower meatballs, corn soup with mixed vegetables, braised sirloin with tomatoes. Oh, they are just simple dishes. Boss Wayne sounds a bit disappointed, but it's okay. Let me see your basic skills. You should still know how to wash and slice vegetables, right? Yes, I know how to do those. Show me how you peel a potato. Alright, take the kitchen knife on the table and begin to peel the tuber while rotating it. The entire process goes smoothly since I would often do this when I worked for Mr. Cook, and I hand the entire peeled item to Boss Wayne in no time. Not bad. You are rather skilled at it. You can work here. Eh? Is that easy? Yes, because we've been at war for the last few years. The economy is getting worse, prices of things are going up, and it's getting harder to employ anyone. What Raiden doesn't realise is more of an economical war rather than a physical war which uses guns and cannons and whatnot. Although it's not too far-fetched to say there are always wars happening in the world, regardless of what you see on the news. Our first customer is none other than Yella. What a delight. I heard from a waiter that it's made with blood, so I'd like to know what it is. Fine, but leaving a large amount of food uneaten in front of a chef is an insult to him. Don't worry, I'll still have you, right? We can always pack the food for you to eat later as a takeaway. This dish only smells good when it's hot. I'm sure it won't taste as nice when it's cold. Yet ignores me. She uses a pair of wooden rods to take a piece of solidified blood and put it into her mouth. Then she immediately looks as if she had just swallowed a piece of magma and clutches her chest in agony. Yeah, very hot. What's wrong? Water, it's so hot. Give me a minute. It's going to be milk actually rather than water. I thought vampires can't taste anything other than blood. How can you have all of those flavours combined into one dish? Like, that is a very difficult thing to do. A mixture of sweet, sour, bitter and spicy. Although from the instance it looked like it was just spicy. Duck's blood, luncheon meat, pig intestines, bean sprouts and such as its ingredients. The most crucial part lies in the soup base and the seasoning. It won't taste nice if they aren't done well. I see. More backstory. We rented a small apartment near the bar so that going to work and coming home would be convenient. Although the place was nowhere near as luxurious as the suite, it met a need in our daily lives. This routine is going back and forth every day should be the life most normal people were leading, and we were slowly assimilating into this era. What do you think about working at this place? It's still okay. The place where I used to work was much harder than this. After all, I would need to add wood to the stove and extinguish the fire at any time. That was more exhausting than all the work here combined. Fine. You are quite a good worker, young man. You have potential. Here's your pay for this month. Boss Wayne hands me an envelope, reminding me that I have worked here for an entire... More time has transpired by. I wanted to know what was in between that part, or at least a segment. Thank you very much. I receive the envelope and tear it open to peek at the contents. It only has 3 $100 notes inside. What, you think it's too low? No, I just joined after all. This amount of earnings can barely cover the rent at the small apartment in the outskirts, and a bit far from what I expected. Alright, it's time for you to knock off. Okay. At least we won't have to risk our lives through gun battles. Things will get better as long as one is willing to work hard. Business at the bar is surprisingly good today. Even at this hour, there are quite a lot of patrons. Does she really have those feelings for us that she would do that sort of thing? Yeah, if you weren't exaggerating that, I wouldn't assume that you would have feelings for Raiden now. Police sirens suddenly wail from outside, and a man rushes in while shouting, "Police! They're here to look for illegal immigrants!" Following that shout, the bar's patrons scream in alarm. People who were enjoying their food earlier suddenly panic, and they stampede for the exit. I'm not sure why that is an option, but we'll pick that. We shouldn't be considered illegal immigrants, right? I touched my driving license in my pocket and glanced at Yella. Of course, we're paying 1,200 for the driving licenses. The police definitely won't be able to tell. Then I remember our check-in process at the front desk of the hotel we were staying at earlier. Their staff didn't notice anything unusual about our identification, so I feel reassured and nod. That's true. We might give ourselves away if we flee with them. Let's go. Just proceed as we normally do. Judgment time. He's looking at me sternly as if he's interrogating a criminal. No problem. I take out the driver's license and hand it to him. He studies the card at me in quite a few times. Miss, please show your ID. Finally, he returns the license to me and turns to ask Yella for her identification. She obligingly gives her card to him, and he just conducts a cursory inspection before returning the document. What an obvious difference. I'm certainly more law-abiding than her. Very well, you can go now. Take care, this place isn't safe lately. You are advised not to wander around here at night. The police officer smiles at Yella and creates an opening to allow us to pass. You, obviously. Her face would turn entirely red each time we exchange such words. She really looks very cute. Focus on the main thing. What a disloyal man that you once had a crush with, Yella. Yeah, what a pitiful young man. He was really unlucky. I breathe a sigh of relief upon hearing this part. From then on, I saw his true colours. He only appeared impressive like a peacock, yet basically couldn't be relied upon when faced with actual challenges, and I stopped loving him since. Which is the opposite of us, don't you think, Yella? We've been up with lots of challenges, and we prevailed through all of them. A brave man, he might appear cowardly, but he would always risk his life at the most crucial moments, and he was a very headstrong fellow who would never give up no matter how difficult the conditions were. I still like him so much to this day. Who is that? Has he also passed away? He wouldn't die that easily. He's a vampire too. I know it. A vampire girl would like a vampire lad after all. Why don't you look for him then? Look for him? There's no need for that. Yes, you're not clocking in on yet that that person is you, Raylan. You shouldn't have greased yourself to them, man. Yeah, we are only asking for directions, so let's just be honest with ourselves here. Don't shoot! I quickly raise my hands to show them that I mean no harm. We're only asking for directions because we have lost our way. Looks like those people aren't desperados. They didn't openly fire immediately, but they keep their fingers on the triggers as if they're waiting for instructions from a middle-aged man. Please don't shoot. I really don't know where we are. The road junction offers no cover at all. If they really open fire, we will certainly be dead. Turn round, don't move, and we won't shoot. The middle-aged man moves his hand in a circular motion. I have no choice but to obey him. After turning around, I suddenly realised Yella isn't around, but relying on the moonlight, I noticed two large shadows approaching me quietly. Oh! Of course that would happen when Yella's gone. At this moment, a large black figure suddenly descends from the sky, obscuring the full moon and the street lights like a majestic male eagle that will strike fear in anyone. What? The male eagle swoops down on me and I instinctively shut my eyes just before impact. Yeah, I can feel my body getting lighter and the wind howling around me. Is this finally time we get to heaven? No, it's just Yella. And this time she has wings as well. We're already together, aren't we? Don't forget you will die if you leave me. No, I don't mean that. Can you accept me? Didn't I choose you as my thrall? Which master would accept their servants? Oh, I want to explain, my throat feels tight and I can't utter anything. On the other hand, if I don't pluck up my courage to express my feelings, will I ever have the guts to say it again in the future? Of course you would, laddie. Don't give up. Yeah, I also like that idea, Yella. Really? But our money is stashed in the apartment. Right now I only have my salary of 300 on me. Don't worry, look here. Yella holds up a black case from somewhere in her hands. What is that thing in your hands? I snatched it from those people earlier. It must be filled with money because I could smell them even from afar. Yellow waves the container triumphantly. That's why it suddenly disappeared just now? Of course, it was right in front of me. I couldn't possibly leave it behind, right? As I say, if you've got a better idea, then you do it yourself. She throws the case over to me in frustration. I examine it carefully, but I notice the thing has an unobstructive button and 3 sets of movable dials with a number on each of them near the handle. We probably need to turn the dials to a correct number combination before it can be opened. So troublesome. It's just 3 numbers and we have plenty of time. Let's find a place to sit and try them out slowly. Okay, I'll leave it to you, Thrall. Yeah, that is a good point. How did we get there initially? Correct. I spent quite a lot of energy at that time, but I can say your performance more than made up for it. You are really a clever vampire. Weren't you afraid that I wouldn't believe you and leave you for good? Then you would have spent all that energy for nothing? You believed me anyway, and British Sub won't change anything by now. We have become mutually dependable on each other. How else would I describe a smart lady like you? Come to think of it, now I understand why you were so weak on the following day after that rescue. You looked so fragile at that time, but I even wondered if I was following a fake vampire. The case is open! Quick, sis, content! How much is inside? I open the case. It is filled with stacks of banknotes neatly arranged inside. And I'm amazed by such a sight, but I nearly forgot to breathe. There's so much. How am I going to count them? Idiot. There are 9 bundles along the line. 3 bundles along the breadth. 3 bundles along the height. And each bundle has 100 notes. Yellow casually flips through the money in a briefcase and gives the answer in no time. I gather it has around 800,000. A lot. Yeah, thank you, Yellow, for repeating my answer a lot. Chapter 4 completed. Hell yeah, that was a rather long chapter as well. The next morning I wake to the sound of rustling from my blanket due to all the tossing and turning in bed. Okay folks, we're going to be leaving here and things are surprisingly up now. It used to be going all down and now it's suddenly going back up after we went to the restaurant and then get our first monthly salary, and then those guards were there and then suddenly we took their briefcase. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and see you all in the next time of Vampire's Melody. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you are enjoying this Let's Play as well as I am, and take care of yourselves.